Right now, we are smack in the middle of a brand new gold rush. Seriously, prices are exploding in a way we haven't seen for decades. And while some people are seeing the promise of incredible wealth, a lot of others are walking straight into some really well-hidden traps. So today, we're going to break down what's behind the boom and the dangers you really need to see coming.
So just how big are we talking? Take a look at this chart. It compares the biggest gold rallies in modern history. See that sharp upward curve there? The one in red that looks like it's going almost vertical? Well, that's us. That's what's happening right now. According to the analysts at UBS, it's the strongest surge for gold since all the way back in 1979. This isn't just another market blip. We're living through a historic moment.
Okay, so what's really fueling this fire? Let's kick things off with the promise side of the equation, the powerful economic drivers that are pushing experts and even entire countries to snap up gold at a record-breaking pace.
And look, this isn't just a bunch of hype on the internet. We're talking about financial heavyweights here. The chief investment office at UBS has actually gone on record to say this surge is in a league of its own, totally unlike anything they've seen in the last 40-plus years.
In fact, they're so confident they're not just talking in abstracts, they're putting a hard number on it. A price target of $6,200 an ounce for 2026. That is a seriously bold prediction, and it shows you the incredible level of conviction they have in where this market is headed.
So who's actually buying all this stuff? Well, the demand is coming from pretty much everywhere. You've got central banks stocking up their vaults, private investors buying up physical bars and coins, and tons of money pouring into ETFs. You know, those exchange-traded funds that trade on stock exchanges. It's a truly broad-based rush.
So let's kind of connect the dots here. You have these huge players, central banks, especially China's, buying up gold because, well, they want to rely less on the US dollar. Then you have everyday investors using it as that classic shield against inflation and all the global uncertainty going on. And all of this together is just fueling this massive demand for physical gold that you can actually hold in your hand.
And yeah, that's the promise. But you know how it goes. Wherever there's this much excitement and money flying around, opportunistic players crawl out of the woodwork. Thousands of new online brokers are just popping up out of nowhere. Which brings us to the big, critical question. When everybody wants in, who on earth can you actually trust? And this is where things get, well, a little dark. This brings us to the peril. We're about to step into the underbelly of this gold rush, the world of unlicensed, unregulated brokers, where the normal rules of finance just don't apply.
Let's take a look at a real-world example, a platform calling itself Elite Global Trading. Now, on the surface, it looks legit, right? Like a proper financial service. But if you dig just a little bit, you find it has zero authorization from any recognized financial regulator. And that is a massive red flag.
You really need to understand the difference between these two worlds it's just night and day. A regulated broker is monitored by official bodies. Think of them as financial watchdogs, like the FCA in the UK or the SEC in the US. They are forced to follow consumer protection laws, and you often have access to compensation schemes if they ever go bust. An unregulated broker, they have none of that. Zero oversight means zero protection for you and your money.
So if you want to protect yourself, you got to know how these guys think. You need to understand their playbook. So let's break down the modern scammer's strategy step by step so you can spot these traps before you even get close to them.
There's this one technique, and honestly, it has a pretty horrifying name: pig butchering. It's so deceptive because the scammer doesn't start off by talking about money at all. Nope, they build an emotional connection first, usually on social media or even dating apps, and they gain your trust over weeks, sometimes months. They fatten you up with a fake friendship before leading you to the slaughter, which is a completely fake investment platform.
And the process is so methodical. Step 1 is building that relationship. Step 2 is when they casually mention some can't-miss investment that's making them a fortune. And step 3 is where they convince you to deposit your money into a platform that looks and feels totally real, but is actually 100% controlled by them.
And don't think for a second these fake platforms look cheap. No way. These things are slick. They've got polished dashboards, fake charts showing you these incredible profits, and they might even have fabricated media mentions. Here's a really clever trick. They might even let you withdraw a small amount of money early on, just to prove they're legit. It builds your confidence right before you deposit a much, much larger sum.
Okay, this is important. Think of this as your personal early warning system. Here are the red flags you absolutely have to look out for. Getting unsolicited contact from strangers about investing. Promises of guaranteed or just totally unrealistic returns. Not being able to find a license number on their website. And of course, sudden weird fees or taxes they say you have to pay to get your own money out. If you spot even one of these, you need to be on high alert.
All right, so we've talked about the threats. Now let's flip the script. Let's talk about defense, because knowing this stuff is how you protect yourself. Here are the clear, actionable steps you can take to keep your finances safe in this kind of chaotic market.
First things first, let's say the worst happens and you think you've been scammed. What do? Here is your step-by-step emergency plan. Number 1, cut off all contact immediately. 2, call your bank, report the fraud. 3, screenshot everything, every single message, every transaction, and finally, file a formal report with the authorities.
But really, the best strategy is to not get into that situation in the first place, right? Prevention is everything. So before you invest a single dollar, do your homework. Go directly to the official websites of those financial watchdogs, the SEC, the FCA, and verify the broker's license for yourself. And above all, just be skeptical. If an offer sounds way too good to be true, it almost certainly is a trap.
Look, at the end of the day, nobody has a crystal ball. Who knows if gold will actually hit that $6,200 mark? That future is uncertain. But you know what shouldn't be? Your financial safety. The real question this gold rush asks us isn't just about how to get rich, it's about how to stay safe. So are you prepared